Welcome to Brno, the second biggest city in the Czech Republic. Come with me as I explore the Capuchin Crypt full of mummified monks. Upon entering the crypt area, you're presented with the coffin and mummified remains of Baron von Trenck. Now, Trenck was a ruthless leader of an army, but he soon came to be known for stealing and pillaging villages and murdering people for profit rather than fighting in battles. If you can see next to his elbow there's a small box, and that contains his thumb, which was stolen in the 19th century from his tomb here, although I have no idea why. Trenck was eventually imprisoned here in Brno for his crimes. Upon his death, he requested to leave all his worldly goods and monetary gains to the Capuchin monks here in Brno, and in return he requested to be buried alongside them. In the same room as Trenck, you'll find Saint Clementiane, or maybe it's Clementine, I'm not sure. I wish I kept the leaflet from the day. She was a Roman noblewoman who died during the persecution of Christianity in the Roman Empire. You can see that beside her legs is a chalice which contains a sample of her blood. And on her head, a wax mask covers her face, presumably to preserve her dignity a bit. You do see that on a lot of saints. So once you've made your way past Trenck and Clementane, you're presented with three mummies in glass coffins. Now, these aren't the monks, these are people that were buried here in the 17th to 18th century. Now, again, we know these aren't the monks because the monks weren't buried in coffins. They deemed that as a luxury. So the mummy second along with the blue cloth over her is Isabella, and she's thought to have been buried alive due to her arms and head being in an unusual position. You can see all the rest have their arms crossed over their bodies. Sic transit gloria mundi literally translates to "thus passes the glory of the world." So this is as deep as the crypt goes, and this is the location of the mummified monks. And this is the area of the mummified monks, which was pretty eerie to have them laying on the same ground level you're walking on. Unfortunately, the glass made it difficult to film on the day with the reflections, but you can still make out some objects being held in the monks' hands and their brown robes that they wore. Now, mummification was never the intention when these monks were laid here. It was in keeping with their vow of poverty. They used a single coffin for every single monk in here, and the dry air currents and the composition of the topsoil gradually preserved the bodies exactly where they lay. The sign on the back wall reads, "As you are now, we once were. As we are now, you shall be." Just to remind you that obviously there were once like you, and this is going to be how it ends for all of us. We did pop inside the monastery, but there were people praying, so it didn't feel appropriate to film for too long. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next crypt.